Hey guys, I'm April from Giggle Glitter Graphics, and this is part 2 of working on my Magic Forest Fairy Journal. I'm going to start off this video by making a tassel to hang down the side of this journal. I have this clip. I wanted to make a fairly robust tassel, but I wanted to be able to remove it. So I have this little Tim Holtz hinge clip. And I'm going to attach the finished tassel to this so that I can just pop that onto my journal later. So I'm going to start off, I've pulled out a variety of ribbon here. And I'm pretty happy with this selection. I've got all kinds of different things. I've got some jute string, I've got a little bit of tulle, and then a bunch of decorative. Some of them are sparkly, some of them have pom-poms. There's just a bunch of little things in here, and I have turned it into a tangled mess. So I'm gonna start off by cutting all of these to length. So I'm gonna want, let's see, I'm gonna want to make it so that when it's folded in half, I can have it hang down the side of the book, but not be longer than the book. I'll probably have to trim some of this up later, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut this piece as kind of a guide. Maybe a little shorter. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut all of the rest of my pieces to the same length as this one. All right, so everything is the same length now. I have quite a few pieces of this jute string. I'm gonna put some beads into this tassel later, so I wanted to have a few pieces of this to work with, and I'm also going to use a piece of this to kind of wrap around the top under the loop. And then I'll probably put some more beads on the ends, but we'll see how that goes. So the next thing I'm gonna do is kind of stack everything up so it's all lined up generally in some sort of an order, just to get everything organized. Everything kind of wants to stick together, and there we go. Some more of that. All right, I'm gonna find the middle. Oh, I missed a little bit. I've got these. There's so thin. A couple pieces of this. One on each side. There we go. All right, we're gonna grab the middle. Try to shake it out a little bit. And I'm gonna give this a little twist just to make it easier later on to thread something through the top of this. Twist, and then fold it over, and that makes a little bit of a loop up there. Actually, let me just tuck this through right now so I can find that. For now, I think I'm just gonna do like a quick little knot on this, hold that in place, and that's gonna make it easier for me to work with. All right. I'm gonna gather this together. I have a little bit of wire, and I'm just gonna cut off a little piece of this wire, and I'm gonna use that to secure this tassel, and then I'll cover that up with some ribbon. So I'll just wrap that around, give something a little bit firm, hold it in place. Make sure that the ends are pressed down. There we go. And I wanted to use this piece and give this a really good wrap. So I want a little bit of length. So I have the option to hang something off of there if I want. And I'm just gonna wrap that around a few times. Going to tie it right like that. And we'll make a knot, nice and tight. All right, so live and learn. I had to re-find my hole, and I put another little piece of this shorter piece of this jute ribbon through, jute string through. And I'm gonna just take this and put it right through the hole in this binder clip. And tie a knot. And that should be enough to secure it to the spine. I like that. I like those little ends sticking out. It's really cute. Let's see if I can get a better view of that. All right, so now I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna add some charms and some beads, things like that, to really kind of give this tassel a lot of personality. I've kind of picked some things out from my stash, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna use yet. I'm gonna kind of play around here. I do have some fairy charms that are really cute. They're adorable. There's a little acorn. Another fairy. I think for this, I like the silver fairy, so we'll use her. And I think I like the acorn. And how about this little tree, since it's a whole forest theme? Tree and the acorn. Should we go with the gold fairy? Keep everything pretty matchy-matchy. Yeah, let's do that. Got these super iridescent beads. They have a lot of shine. I'd like to use a few of those. So let's add those to our little pile. All right, so I went through and I picked out beads with larger holes in them because I'm putting them on this really, really thick material. But also these really sparkly ones that I selected, I can put those on these really thin little strands. So I'm gonna stack a few on a couple of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach all of these beads. I'm just gonna kind of randomly place them throughout, and I'm gonna see where this ends up. Well, this sometimes happens. Things did not entirely go to plan, and I couldn't manage to get the little beads threaded onto these little strands because of all the little eyelash iridescent on it. I just couldn't get it threaded on the needle, and I gave up and moved on. But I do have a bunch of other beads kind of mixed through. I have kind of some glass beads. There's all of the charms that I picked out are in here. And there are some crackly plasticky beads, and I'm pretty happy with the mix. I feel like this is a pretty interesting tassel to go on the side of my book. I'm gonna leave these strings just like this for now, and I'll see if there's something that strikes me inspiration-wise later for these. So here it is attached to the side of my book. It is just a touch long, like if it were sitting on a shelf, it's gonna hit just a little bit. I don't know that I mind that too much. These are just the strings left over from finding my book. I might trim off, see there's a couple that are just poking out there. I think I'm gonna trim those off, and I'm gonna call this tassel done. I'm gonna move my tassel to the side now and start working on the inside of the journal. I've already tucked some things in here that I wanted to work on, so I'm gonna kind of move through some of these projects. On this spread here, I've got a stencil I wanna use in here, this little fairy house fussy cut, and then this is just a piece of paper bag. I took a paper bag and cut the bottom off of it, and I've put some little pieces of cardboard in there. They're just slipped in there, and this is gonna make it a little more sturdy. I'm gonna let this be able to flip open and shut, and I might tuck some things in there later. But I wanted to decorate the inside of this with a little bit of distress ink. I'm gonna try this blue. It's a brand new ink pad. Let's see if we can load this up. And I might mix a little purple in, since our fussy cut has some blue and purple, and we've got kind of this magical theme. I just wanted to zhuzh up the inside. And give it a little bit of personality. So when you opened it up, it wasn't just brown paper with this little fussy cut sitting inside. Each over here, just to kind of bring those colors around. There, that's cute. I'm gonna set my stencil to the side here, find somewhere I can put it where it's not gonna leave ink everywhere. All right, so I've got my little fussy cut here. I think the outside edge of this, I'm gonna do some of that vintage photo distress ink, just to kind of accent that edge. That will go there, and I think I'm gonna do some distress ink around the outside edges of my bag, just to give it a little more age. I'm gonna leave this brown for now, and we'll see later on. I'll probably do some jumping around today. We'll see, come back and revisit some things later. All right, so here's my book. I'm trying to decide centered or down. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna glue this whole thing down. So why don't we just center it? And let's try to center that up. There we go. Rest under there, hold that open. So now we've got our fussy cut, which is gonna go right here. I had printed some test prints on the back of this one, so try not to waste things whenever I'm testing printer settings or the look of some of my printables that I design. There we go. So now we have a little pocket here and a pocket here where we can tuck some things into. Let's see, what do we want to put in here? Got some little sheets of poetry. Got some graph paper. Oh, I kind of like how that might contrast. Let's see here. I'm just gonna take this to the edge of my table and give it a little rip. I'm gonna do some torn edges. Fold that in half, that'll fit in there. I got a little piece of graph paper in there. And then this is a piece of an old book that I have. It was kind of falling apart, so I went ahead and grabbed some of the pages. And we'll tuck that back in here. I feel like we need to do something on the front of this. Let's see, what do we have? All right, so I did a quick little dig through my supplies from my fairy kit, and I cut a little scrap of paper. I think I'm gonna make a little pocket on the front of this. I'm gonna round the corners really quick. There we go. Just didn't want it to get all hung up, and I'm just gonna glue that on 3 sides. While that is drying, let's see if I have something, some smaller tags. I could put something like that in there. here we've got some larger cards in here. Let's see. Oh, I like the waterfall. That's nice. I think we're gonna use that. And I think I'll stick a grommet in the top of that, or an eyelet in the top, and add a little bit of ribbon or string or something like that. There we go. We have our jute string on our tag. I put a little eyelet in there. I've got some pockets I can fill up later, and I felt like this was a little too plain after flipping it open, so I wanted to make it look kind of like this cute little fairy house is hiding in the forest. So I grabbed a couple of these fussy cuts to kind of put a frame around it to make it a little more interesting whenever you flip that open. A little more exciting than just having it float right in the middle. There we go. Yeah, I am pretty happy with that. So I've moved to the next area I want to work on. I've kind of flipped a page, and I've got the back side of this piece of painted paper, and I'm gonna work on, let me move this out of the way, and we'll start on this side. I'd like to add this little mushroom, I think, to the pocket. Let's make it shiny. I've got my Galaxy Gold Brilliance stamp pad here. I'm just gonna go around the edges of my mushroom with that. You're gonna see this stamp pad probably come out a lot. It has a real subtle shine to it. I'm gonna glue this in place right here on the pocket. I don't wanna get too close to the center of the book. We just wanna do the bottom part of this. Don't wanna glue my pocket shut by accident. Place that right there. That is adorable. And now I've got this journaling card and a piece of the glitter cardstock. And I'm gonna round the corners on these. I think I'll just put some distress ink also on the edges of this journaling card. And then I'll go ahead and also round my cardstock. There we go. I'm gonna glue those together. For this, I am gonna use the Fabri-Tac. The cardstock has kind of a plastic coating on it that keeps all that glitter inside. And the glue stick really doesn't want to stick to that very well. Center that up. Now I'm noticing that my tag is kind of flopping around in there a little bit, so I'm gonna add, this is open, I just folded the edges up a little bit before putting them into my journal when I sewed them in. So I think I'm gonna glue this end shut. And I'm just gonna grab a little glue stick and do that. And see if that helps secure that in the pocket. I'm also noticing that while you get a little bit of paint coming through from the back, I think I would like a little more texture on here. So I'm gonna hunt down that stencil that I used earlier. It's here somewhere. And I'm just gonna grab a little bit of brown distress ink, and we're just gonna use that same stencil and add a little bit of texture. Let me maybe a little over here as well. There we go. I like that one. There, now our card is sitting in there a little better. We've got a little more texture and interest around the outside edge. I'm gonna add a string to this. So I got my eyelet in and I grabbed a little piece of ribbon left over from my tassel on and put that through the hole. Let's move to the other side. I've got kind of a crazy contraption going on here. Let me move these over here. So I'm going to make a flip out. And I want this part of the flip out to be a pocket right here. And then I've got a big tag that's going to go here. I might do something on the inside, I'm not sure, right there. And then I also had decoration for here, I think. So I think we'll just start at, put this in here to kind of protect everything, get a little bit of a prop under here so we're not flopping all over the place. All right, so the first thing I want to do is glue this pocket on. I may not fill everything in this video. I'm probably going to come back through before the final flip through video and add some more goodies or other decorations to these pages. Sometimes I need some time to think about it and then come back and finish the project. All right. Center that up. Get that in place. There we go. All right, so we got our little flip out. All right. So I definitely want to do this area. I was thinking about putting paper here and then gluing this down on two sides so that this would be a pocket. And I still like that idea, so I'm going to do that. So let's get the paper here. Let's add a little ink to this really quickly. Amount of glue stick on the back. We're going to glue this all the way down. Let's just add some texture. Now we have our fussy cut here. I'm going to ink around this as well. And I'm going to glue this on just two sides. That will make this into a pocket. I'm gonna let that dry. Let's flip this open. Not sure what I'm gonna tuck in here yet. Maybe just some journaling paper or something like that. Oh, got glued shut a little bit there. All right, but I do wanna put this loaded tag in here. I'm gonna round the corners on this though. That's better. And I'm just gonna glue this right in the middle. There we go. Now we've got our little fold out. think I'm going to leave this be for now. I'm definitely going to come back and maybe add some journaling spots or something like that, and you'll see those in the final flip through on this journal. Thanks for hanging out with me while I worked on my journal today. I did want to show you real quick. I went back and I took my stencil and my vintage photo ink and added a little more stenciling there. And I added a tie. This was flip-flopping open as I turned the pages. I just went right under the piece of cardboard in the back since I had not attached that. I poked a hole in this side of the bag and just ran a string through it so that I would have something to hold this shut. I might work a little more on this page, but I'm not sure. You will find out in the final flip through. Thanks for sticking with me through my entire process. I'm going to work on part 3 of this video soon. I hope you'll keep an eye out for it, and I'll see you in the next one.